So again, I'm late on this, but I wanted to discuss this business with Carol Vorderman and the abhorrent sexist and misogynist comments that were made by Robert Kenyon, the Reform candidate for the Makerfield by-elections. And this was related to a 2021 post by someone who posted, "My God, I would love to smell and lick Carol Vorderman's arsehole." And Robert Kenyon, instead of condemning, actually endorsed this by saying he's only saying what we're all thinking. And Carol Vorderman's discussing this with James O'Brien on LBC, and she said that Reform are dismissing it as locker room banter, and then I've read that Nigel Farage is dismissing it as pub banter. And we know that we had this business with James McMurdoch as well, who was jailed for assaulting his girlfriend, and there have been other sexist comments and things dismissed by the Reform Party. And so this is another case of this. So I wanted to deal with something very specific, look at it from a very specific lens in relation to that. And I wanted to highlight the fact that banter, what is dismissed as banter, locker room or in the pub, is really code for we understand this thing. We understand this deviancy. We find this deviancy normal. We understand it and we know it, and we are aligned with it in certain cases, but it's something that we can relate to. It's something that we can understand. And what we can understand has reflections of ourselves in it. What we can understand has reflections of ourselves in it that allow us to understand it. And this deviancy, in terms of the Reform Party, is speaking to them in the native tongue of their sovereign empirical borders. That is the world known to their senses, the unique interaction that they have with the phenomenal world that is the basis for culture. Yes, it's speaking to them in their native tongue of the world that they experience, okay? That they're culturally orientated towards. And so that's what's going on. That's why it's being dismissed, because it speaks to a particular culture that is pervasive within the Reform Party. And I want us to understand it in that way. And so therefore there is an issue within the Reform Party with this form of cultural deviancy that is misogynistic and sexist towards women. It is something that is within there that is a cultural problem, something that is culturally abhorrent within the Reform Party. Now, we're used to the Reform Party pointing to people of colour and immigrants and pointing to cultural intrusions that they find abhorrent. They pointed at the grooming gangs, rightly so, and they pointed at other things. And so what I would like to highlight is that there is something abhorrent going on within their party that is culturally deviant, that speaks to the culture and the people in that party that is abhorrent, that they're dismissing as banter. And so I want to highlight the fact that there is a cultural problem within the Reform Party related to sexism and misogyny.